Let's look at a few examples out of 2.6 to try to clarify some things. So for this one, we're going to begin by translating it into symbols, into an equation. So the number 10, so that's 10, means equals 50% of what number? So of means multiply. We don't know the number, so let's use a variable. When 50%, we need to put that in decimal form. So the way I recall to do this is if we put decimal and percent in alphabetical order, it would go like this. If we're going from a percent to a decimal, then we move to the left, and we move 2 places. So if our decimal starts out here, we would move it 2 places to the left. So that would be 0.50 or 0.5, and then you could put a 0 in front if you want. So that's 10 is 50% or 0.5 off what number, so times what number. And then to solve this, we need to divide to get rid of the coefficient. The opposite of multiplying, as we said, is dividing, so divide both sides by 0.5. So those cancel. That gives us x. And then we need to do 10 divided by 0.5. We can do this a couple ways. If we do it this way, 10 divided by 0.5. If we have a decimal as our divisor, we have to fix that. So we move the decimal over 1 place here, and we would have to move it over 1 place here. So instead of doing 10 divided by 0.5, we will do 100 divided by 5. So 5 goes into 10 twice. 5 times 2 is 10. Subtract, bring down your 0. 5 goes into 0 times. So we get 20. So 10 is 50% of 20. 10 is 50% of 20. So just converting it into an equation and solving that equation. So now let's do this one. So this one says find 39% of 10. So if we want to know 39% of 10, then we need 39% as a decimal. So our decimal is normally here. And if we do DP, if we're going from percent to decimal, we have to move the decimal place over. So that would be 0.39. Oops, erase this. 0.39 or 0.39. Of means multiply times 10. So let's just do that. 0.39 times 10. We have 0 times 9, which is 0. 0 times 3 is 0. Notice when we multiply by 0, we put the first number under the 0. Then 1 times 9, so we put the first number under the 1, and 1 times 3. Add the columns, and we have 2 digits to the right of the decimal in our multiplication, so our answer has 2 digits to the right of the decimal. So we get 3.9 or 3.90. So it's just a matter of interpreting what's given and then performing the operation. So let's do this one. Let's translate it. So 9 means equals what percent? So what percent we don't know, so let's call that X. And let's keep in mind X stands for a percent. So our final answer needs to be a percent. Of is multiply 36. So to get x by itself, the opposite of multiplying, we have to divide. Oops. So that 36 is canceled. So we get x, and then 36 over 9. Now we could reduce this if you want to. This is a fraction. To get it into a percent, eventually we probably would like to have it as a decimal, but before we get decimals, we can reduce fractions. 9 goes into 36. 9 goes into 9 once. 9 goes into 36 4 times. So x as a fraction is equal to 1/4. Now let's get that as a decimal. So 1 divided by 4. So our decimal is here. So in our answer, our decimal will be there. So 4 doesn't go into 1, but if we put an understood 0, 4 goes into 10 twice. 2 times 4 is 8. Subtract 10 minus 8 and get 2. Since we have a remainder, we can bring down another understood 0. 4 goes into 25 times. Computer's acting up a little. 5 times 4 is 20. If we subtract there, we get a remainder of 0. So we don't have to bring anything else down. So as a decimal, x is 0.25. Now that's as a decimal. But our problem said what percent? Not what decimal, but what percent. Let's see if I can erase some of this. Not letting me write. Try this again. X is 0.25. So that's as a decimal. We want that as a percent because that's what it asked us for x. So if we're going from a decimal to a percent, we move to the right. So 1, 2 places to the right. So as a percent, that would be 25%.